Greetings, and welcome to my album about hurricanes. I hope you really want to know how hurricanes are formed. And if you don't, that doesn't matter, because I'm about to tell you anyways. So sit back, relax, and enjoy my slam poetry essay about how hurricanes are formed.
Hurricanes are formed when warm air with a high water level over water starts to rise. The rising air is replaced by cooler air. This continues to make big clouds and thunderstorms. These storms keep getting bigger and begin to rotate thanks to Earth's Coriolis effect. The Coriolis effect is an effect where a mass moving in a rotating system encounters a force, which is the Coriolis force, acting opposite to the direction in which the mass was originally heading. I'm sure you are wondering how hurricanes reach the land, so I'm going to tell you. So what happens is the trade winds, so those are the ones that blow east to west, they basically push the hurricane towards the west. And that's why all the hurricanes always hit on that side of continents and not on, the other side. That's why Wisconsin doesn't have too many hurricane problems. Something you also might have been wondering is, where do hurricanes form? And I'm going to tell you. So hurricanes usually form near the equator, or just anywhere where there's warm waters, but usually the waters are warm near the equator, so that's where they usually kind of appear. Some other cool facts about hurricanes that you might enjoy to know is that the word hurricane comes from the Taino Native American word hurricane, meaning evil spirit of the wind. Also, most people who die in hurricanes are killed by the towering walls of seawater that comes inland. So that big wave. Splash! Splash! Splash!
This concludes the first song that is not an intro on the album. I hope you're prepared, because there's much more. I don't know if it gets any better though.
This is a certified
weather education
classic.
There is a time where there are more hurricanes than usual, and this is due to the conditions of this time being just right for a hurricane to be created. The official hurricane season is from June 1st to November 30th. The reason that hurricane season exists is because that specific time is the time that the water is much warmer than any other time of the year. Hurricanes can still occur at other times of the years, but it's just not as likely. According to the Atlantic Hurricane Database, there have been more than 85 hurricanes that have happened outside of season, but only 2 of them have ever reached Category 2 status or higher. Hurricanes can't just happen in any conditions. They need a very specific set of factors to be just right for them to happen. One of these things is that it needs to be over 26 degrees Fahrenheit, and the wind speed needs to be faster than 74 miles per hour. There also needs to be a pre-existing storm, as a hurricane doesn't just appear as a hurricane. It also needs to be a thunderstorm. Something about the electricity and the thunderstorm aspect of a hurricane is what can turn the water into heat, which can power the hurricane. The wind speeds surrounding the hurricane also need to be fast, because if they go directly against the hurricane, as if they're either too slow or somehow too fast, then it can weaken the hurricane because there's something going against it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Welcome to the 4th song in the mixtape. In this song, we're going to be going over how to classify a hurricane and what makes a hurricane strictly a hurricane. Let's get into it. Have you been struggling to sleep every night? Do thoughts of tropical storms keep you from slumber each hour past dark, driving you into a crazed state where the only thing you truly desire in life is to know what separates a hurricane from your average happy little storm? Well, fear not, as my sole purpose in life is to address these questions and give you answers that might give you more questions, which I won't answer. Let's start with the basics, shall we? For a hurricane to truly be a hurricane, it has to be a cyclone. That means the wind has to be going around in a circle. The wind that is measured to make a hurricane is not the wind flowing around the hurricane pushing it in one direction, but it's the wind inside the hurricane. Those winds inside the hurricane have to reach a speed of at least 74 miles per hour to be considered a hurricane. Otherwise, they would simply be considered a tropical storm. Last but not least, the hurricane has to originally come from the ocean. If a hurricane somehow formed on land, it would not be considered a hurricane, because hurricanes have to start out in the ocean, in tropical waters that are warm enough to meet their needs. One other thing that I'm sure you're wondering about is, how do you classify a hurricane? Well, hurricanes are classified on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Category 1 hurricanes are anything that's from 74 to 95 miles per hour. Category 2 hurricanes are 96 to 110 miles per hour. Category 3 hurricanes are 111 to 129 miles an hour. Category 4 hurricanes are 130 to 156 miles an hour. And Category 5 hurricanes are 157 or above miles per hour.
The album is done, 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 the album is done.
It's done.